Welcome to the HPG Blackout. My call sign is Long Shadow, and I do not care if you are an aggressor, bastion, crusader, or warden, because I am just an amateur historian who loves big, stumpy robots. Today, we explore the clan invasion era, which will require a small primer on clan history. But since Comstar has us in a blackout, we need your help to get our signal out by liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more content just like this. In 2781, the Star League officially disbanded, but Aleksandr Kerensky, a prominent military leader, spent the next 2 years trying to salvage the situation by shuttling between the great houses. However, he abandoned this effort in August of 2783 and began work on a plan to preserve the spirit of the League. In February 2784, he made this plan known to the rest of the SLDF, which involved departing from the inner sphere and living in exile, denying the competing great houses the misuse of their military might during the coming conflagration. In November of 2784, fully 80% of the SLDF agreed to this plan, and they made their fateful departure. After years of travel, the Star League refugees came upon 5 marginally habitable worlds, known as the Pentagon Worlds, in August 2786. Upon their arrival, they tried to create a new Star League, and by 2794, prosperity had taken hold and colonization efforts were directed to a group of nearby stars, the Kerensky cluster. However, by 2800, the first of several small-scale clashes broke out between colonists of Capellan and Federated Sun's origin, leading to a full-scale rebellion by May of the next year. Kerensky was unable to bring the colonists back in line, and the violence spread to the remaining 4 Pentagon worlds, leading to an all-out war. In June 2801, Aleksandr Kerensky died of a massive heart attack at his command post, marking the beginning of the Exodus Civil War, which would eventually encompass all 5 Pentagon worlds and last nearly 20 years. As his designated heir, Major General Nicholas Kerensky took command of the exiled SLDF, but the rest of the army rejected him due to his lack of combat experience and made their own attempts to assume command. Realizing that civil war was inevitable, Nicholas decided to take those loyal to him on a second exodus to Strana Mekti, one of the newly founded colonies in the Kerensky cluster. He sought to create a new society that eliminated all previous cultural biases and rewarded merit and ability. He borrowed ideas from the medieval Mongol hordes, shogunate Japan, and 20th century China to create the 20 clans, each one a reinforced battalion of 40 warriors. Of the thousands of troops that had joined his second exodus, only the best able, regardless of gender, race, or any other quota, were selected to join the clans. Nicholas himself participated and passed the combat trials to prove his worth, and in June 2815 declared himself Ilkhan, supreme ruler of the clans. By mid-2821, Nicholas had judged the time was right and unleashed Operation Klondike, the campaign to take back the Pentagon worlds. Success was finally achieved in May 2822, but the brutality of the post-liberation months prompted some within the clans to begin questioning Nicholas's methods and even his leadership. Opposition to the Ilkhan's authority eventually coalesced around Clan Wolverine, which came to a head in August 2823. After various political and military clashes, the first trial of annihilation was carried out against Clan Wolverine. Despite this opposition, Nicholas set about restructuring society and laying the groundwork for future prosperity. New worlds were explored and colonized, industry rebuilt, and the population finally reached its pre-war levels in 2832 thanks to the eugenics program. Tragedy struck 2 years later during a trial of refusal between Clan Wolf and Clan Widowmaker. The Ilkhan, hoping to stop a melee that erupted during the trial, attempted to intervene but was accidentally shot and killed by the Widowmaker Khan. The death of their leader enraged the clans, who laid waste to the Widowmakers. Clan Wolf was given the honor of absorbing the remnants of the defeated clan. Despite this victory, the clans were left without a leader and were forced to reevaluate their future. In the aftermath of the Ilkhan's death, the clans struggled to maintain their unity and began to turn on each other. The once mighty clans were now weakened and vulnerable. For roughly a century after the Ilkhan's death, the clans entered a period of time known as the Golden Century. Kerensky's directives laid the foundation for this success, but it was during this time that clan society truly began to take shape. The perfection of the Iron Womb solidified the distinction between trueborn and freeborn in the warrior caste, establishing the caste system as a fundamental aspect of clan society. During the Golden Century, the clans also grappled with the question of their relationship with the inner sphere, leading to the creation of the Crusader and Warden philosophies. Each clan also developed a unique sense of identity as they expanded and colonized the Kerensky cluster, thanks in part to advances in medical technology. Military technology also flourished during the Golden Century. The scientist caste continued to develop the weapons technology of the Star League, spurred on by the leadership of the warrior caste. It was during this time that the Omnimech, Omnifighter, and elemental battle armor were developed, along with the perfection of many existing clan weapon systems. The Golden Century was a period of unprecedented growth for the clans, and its legacy continues to shape their society today. During the political century, clan society was split into two competing viewpoints: Crusaders and Wardens. The Crusaders believed it was their right to re-establish the Star League by force with themselves as leaders, while the Wardens thought it was their mission to protect the inner sphere from outside threats while maintaining their own distinct culture. The Jade Falcons were at the forefront of the Crusader faction, but eventually, the Smoke Jaguars took over their role when in 2980, they introduced a motion to the Grand Council to invade the inner sphere. But the motion was defeated by the heads of the Warden faction, Clans Wolf and Coyote. The debate continued for decades, and by the year 3000, the clans were on the brink of invasion. When rumors of the Fourth Succession War, and then the War of 3039 reached them, they put the invasion to a vote, each time only narrowly defeated by the efforts of Clan Wolf. In the summer of 3048, the Outbound Light, a Comstar exploration ship, appeared in orbit above the Smoke Jaguar capital World Huntress, and was quickly seized. This gave Khan Leo Showers, an ardent crusader, the perfect opportunity to force through his agenda. Holding in his possession the only source of current information on the inner sphere, he manipulated it to his advantage, and on November 21st convinced enough members of the Grand Council to pass a vote to invade the inner sphere. A month later, Showers was voted Ilkhan, the first in a century, to oversee the invasion effort. 1 year later, Operation Revival officially began, first by conquering the worlds along the periphery, and then, on March 7, 3050, invading the inner sphere proper. The inner sphere was ill-prepared for an assault of this scale from an unexpected direction, and their defenses swiftly collapsed in the face of the clan assault. While the clans achieved spectacular successes in the first two waves of their invasion, It was marred by their failure to capture or kill the heir to the federated Commonwealth, as well as their failure to realize they had captured the heir to the Draconis Combine. The invasion soon degenerated into a race to see who could conquer more worlds quicker, hastening the pace of the preceding waves. Reverses were suffered by the Falcons at the Battle of Twycross and the Jaguars at the Battle of Woolcott, but it would take the sudden death of Ilkhan Showers on November 1st, 3050 to actually halt the invasion. The invading clans realized they needed to elect a new Ilkhan to lead the invasion, but the process could only occur with a vote of all the blood-named warriors, forcing them to return to the homeworlds. This process took a year to complete, giving the Inner Sphere breathing room to rebuild and prepare. Now led by Ulrich Kerensky of Clan Wolf, the fifth wave of the invasion began in November 3051 and threatened to sweep through the Inner Sphere again. However, it was during this time that Ilkhan Kerensky revealed to Comstar the goal of their invasion was Terra herself. Up to this point, Comstar had been neutral in the conflict, even aiding the clans in the administration of their conquered worlds. With their seat of power threatened, Precentor Marshal Anastasius Vogt made a daring proposal. The Com Guards would fight the clans at a neutral site to decide the fate of the invasion. If they won, the clans would agree to a 15-year truce. If they lost, then Terra was theirs. The resulting Battle of Tukaid was a resounding victory for Comstar and brought about an end to Operation Revival. The Truce of Tukaid was a bitter pill for the clans to swallow. Though still allowed by the terms of the agreement to attack those worlds which lay above the treaty line, much blame was laid at Ilkhan Kerensky's feet for the disastrous outcome, especially by those Crusaders within his own clan. In the summer of 3057, they charged the Ilkhan with genocide for denying their warriors the right to combat the Inner Sphere. The Ilkhan decided to bring these charges before the Grand Council, which by a narrow majority found him guilty. The result was the Refusal War, a conflict that saw both clans Wolf and Jade Falcon devastated, and the former split asunder into a Crusader-minded Clan Wolf and a Warden-minded Clan Wolf in exile. Each of the devastated clans attacked their neighbors in a show of strength, the Jade Falcons penetrating into the Lyran Alliance as far as Coventry, while the Wolves raided the Smoke Jaguars. On November 19th, 3058, the clans met on Strena Mekti to elect a new Ilkhan, Lincoln Osis of the Smoke Jaguars, who took it as his mandate for the resumption of the invasion. For the next 6 months, the clans went about with their preparations, both the Jade Falcons and Wolves launching the harvest trials to rebuild their shattered forces. When the clans were finally prepared to attack, they received disturbing news. The successor states had rallied under the banner of the Second Star League and launched their own attack, Operation Bulldog, intended to drive the Smoke Jaguars out of the Inner Sphere. Thanks to their skill at arms, Clan Nova Cat switching sides, and the neutrality of Clan Ghostbear, the Second Star League succeeded in completely reclaiming all of the conquered Smoke Jaguar worlds in just a matter of months. In early 3060, Operation Serpent, which had been launched simultaneously with Operation Bulldog, appeared in orbit above Huntress. The battles raged across the Smoke Jaguar homeworld from the first landings on March 2nd until the final victory on April 7th. The Star League had achieved their goal of utterly destroying a Crusader clan, hoping to give the Wardens more political power. On April 12, the reborn SLDF sent a delegation before the Clan Grand Council on Strana Mekti and called for a trial of refusal against the invasion of the Inner Sphere. The clans agreed, but the council were blindsided when Clan Ghostbear declared they would not take part in the trials and indeed had switched their allegiance to the Warden faction. The rest of the Wardens refused to take part as well, leaving only the Crusader clans and the tattered remnants of the Smoke Jaguars to face off against the Inner Sphere forces in the Great Refusal. By a score of 5 victories, 2 losses, and a draw, the Inner Sphere won, and the clans were bound by honor to adhere to the original Treaty of Tukaid and end the invasion. The Grand Council was left to absorb and debate what had happened in the preceding months during their meeting in April 3060. Due to their treachery in siding with the Inner Sphere, Clan Star Adder called for the Nova Cats to be annihilated, though the Wardens, led by Clan Ghost Bear, blocked that vote. Instead, Clan Wolf called for their abjuration, which achieved the necessary 4/5 majority, and the Nova Cats were given a month to evacuate their clan holdings. What followed became known as the Wars of Possession, as all of the clans proceeded to fight amongst each other over who would take over the now unoccupied holdings of the Smoke Jaguars, Ghost Bears, and Nova Cats, with the conflicts lasting into 3062. Following the collapse of the Second Star League and the dissolution of the Truce of Tukaid in 3067, the clans would elect a new Ilkhan to resume the invasion of the Inner Sphere. However, this war would shift between the invading clans and the home clans in what would later become known as the Wars of Reaving. This war would permanently split clan society in two, as the invader clans would be abjured from the clan homeworlds and start the Council of Six in the Inner Sphere, while the homeworld clans, believing that the Inner Sphere had tainted their culture through their brethren, championed 2 new philosophies, becoming known as the Bastions and Aggressors, effectively ending the Crusader and Warden divide. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this introduction to the clan invasion era. While we are still in a blackout, let me know which clan you think exemplifies Kerensky's vision the best in the comments below. We will see you next time, and remember, Harjal is just the flex seal of BattleTech.